Go for it.
Thank you guys. You're awesome.
Apparently that's a birthday thing. All right, we'll be right back. And we're back. Aarron Winter, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, John. How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for being on. Thanks for taking the time.
It's my pleasure.
Good to see you. It was great to see you at SLC.
Definitely, man. It's always good catching up.
I'm excited to have you on here today. Aarron and I have got a chance to develop a relationship in the last, 2 to 3 years. And, Aarron has a pretty cool story, and I believe that can really share some, good insight for the fall. Aarron, real quick, go through a rundown. Tell our 1.9 million viewers. We are increasing by 100,000 people every week. It's the fastest growing interview show thing on the interweb. So
let's take that to 2 mil.
2 mil. That's a goal.
Well, I started back in Memorial Day weekend of 2010 in a branch office. I don't even know how I'm in the business now because my branch literally quit in the middle of SC2. Pretty much told me to call Kyle Freeman and was like, I have no idea who this is. So he reached out to me before SC2 started and, hey, come down with me. It's kind of the first time I really got to talk Kyle and we started our relationship. Was an assistant manager, worked super part-time around my senior year of college, really dug into the program over my winter break on my first trip there. And then I kind of made the conclusion that I was going to open up a district office, even though I had planned to go to graduate school for like 5 years. Ran an office in Portland, Maine for about 2.5 years. At the end of 2013, I actually closed my office and left the business for a year. I kind of felt like I was burnt out. The grass is greener on the other side. So you begin to realize the grass is green where you water it. But I ended up taking a food service position for about a year just to improve my business relationships and just kind of become more of a professional. Stayed in touch with Kyle over that year. We get like lunch once a month, and then came back to the business right around Thanksgiving of 2014. Worked as Ryan Trembler's pilot for the spring campaign. And then when Freeman got promoted to division manager of Connecticut, moved my life down with him, and we've been in Connecticut since 2015.
Nice. Dude, I'm hearing this so much more now. And I know this is back in 2014, but I think it's a testament to when people want to leave, it always stinks to see somebody go. And it's open arms, right? This is our family, we have room for you. We're going to make room for you. You can't make people do things, but it's treating people the right way. Like if they want to go explore something else, hey man, grass is green where you water it. But how many people have returned? Great people, yourself. There's a few other people that just returned the last couple of years. I think it's great. It just shows that, hey, we've got something special here. And we never want people to leave, but it's just always cool to have people come back and notice that, hey, this is where I want to be at. It strengthens the conviction, and obviously you're doing pretty well for yourself, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, man. Great story. I love that you took the time to carve out this where it's like, all right, I'm going to go to my secret dungeon, Iron area. I'm going to do this interview. I know it was busy last second for you. So again, thank you for taking the time there.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
So dude, let's actually first and foremost, I wanted to see if you noticed something. We're going to start off with a little bit of trivia here today.
Okay.
Ready? Listen.
Alles Gute zum Geburtstag.
What are your thoughts on that one?
I couldn't tell you German to save my life. I know Asian languages more than German.
Alles Gute zum Geburtstag.
I feel like it's right there for you.
Happy birthday?
Right there.
Alles Gute zum Geburtstag.
Close. All right, ready? Fill in the blanks.
Happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday. It is your birthday today.
Thanks, man. Yes, it is.
I just want to give a little love, a little shout out. My dad's 70th birthday is also today.
Wow. My grandfather's birthday is actually today, too.
Nailing it. Crushing. Sharon Osbourne, Ozzy Osbourne's wife. Her birthday's today.
Oh, boy.
John Lennon, old Beatle. His birthday would have been today. Nick Swardson, the actor, Grandma's Boy, Reno 911.
Yep.
Comedian. His birthday's today.
Wow.
I don't do this, but one of the most famous than ever. It's Phyno with a PH, Phyno. He's a Nigerian rapper. Phyno. His birthday is today.
Might need to check him out.
Scott Bakula, the actor from Quantum Leap. and the quarterback from Unnecessary Roughness, Scott Bakula. Do you remember him?
I don't remember him, honestly.
Anyway, man, happy birthday to you. So, dude, you've hit President's Banquet in the past, and I know that we had talked, and I remember when we first talked, you're like, yeah, I haven't hit President's Banquet a ton. It was that one time, but we've had a lot of falls that we hover between 80 and 90,000. And the difference between 80, 90,000, 80 to 90,000, and 100,000 is 15, 20, 10,000, 1,000 in some cases. But I think there's a lot of things that you can take away from those years of hitting it and also falling just a tad short as a best practice. So I want to begin off with my first question that we ask most of our people, and you had mentioned this too. Man, if I would have known this, that would have gotten me over. What would you wish you would have known, as a branding manager going back in the first couple of years, and, maybe you get 100K a couple of more times, but just what are some best practices? What are some things that you wish you would have known?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is I'm just a really competitive guy. I hate losing it like anything. My wife and I have intense rock, paper, scissors battles for like who takes our dogs out at the end of the night. You hear him right now.
Who?
Yeah. So I think just I always put this unnecessary negative pressure on myself. And if I could tell myself back then, it's like, hey man, just run your own race. Don't worry about other people around you. Just focus on improving, getting better at the business. I was also I was in a very bad place when I was younger, just relationships that I had, but I was never really focused on personal growth. I wasn't really reading too much. I was kind of like put up in Maine. I didn't really have any managers close to me. So I kind of felt like I was by myself a lot of the time. I was really bad at reaching out to other people. And then I think just promoting a vision. So I was always like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's like, let me see how the next summer goes. Let me see how this fall goes. I always had this like definitive endpoint of where I wanted to like leave the business versus like now, like when I came back, like I'm here for the long term. Like it's so much easier to see 2, 3, 4, 5 years out versus just like 2 or 3 months.
It's funny, definitive endpoint, like in your brain, you're like, I'm here for this campaign. I'm here for the end of my lease. I'm here for X. Like that's my definitive endpoint. So you're still here.
Yep.
And you're doing well. It's just so funny, the mental barrier that I am myself, and I know other people that I've spoken to say that, hey, once this campaign's done, it's like, why put that lid on it? And yes, your lease may end at the end of this campaign or at the end of the year, but instead of looking at that as the ceiling, right? Look at that as your floor. Like you're going to begin from that point. Man, the power of commitment. Like I never regretted commitment. I only regret looking back going, man, if I would have just committed a little bit more.
Exactly.
And it's funny because what do we say to our reps on day one of training about commitment? What do we talk about as far as the pool? What's the pool?
Just like dive in. I actually use that analogy every time. It's like dive in head first. Don't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
And what I'm finding, man, through a lot of these messages that our management staff, again, myself included, I'm a total victim of it. I didn't necessarily do it purposefully, but I really didn't take the time to understand that if you just follow the things that you say to your people, imagine what that would look like.
Exactly.
So it's funny how it's like we say things, but are we doing that? And the integrity gap and whatnot. And again, not for guilt. That's no world to live in, but to embrace it, to open up your arms and say, hey, maybe I should listen a little bit more clear to what I'm teaching. And man, when your integrity is clear and you're teaching what you're doing and you're really walking through because you're doing it, it's a whole different ballgame. And I know that you've experienced that on the positive end. So definitely. Thanks for sharing and being vulnerable about that.
My pleasure.
The negative pressure, why do you feel that is? And I get that from some of our newer managers. It's like they come in with this unrealistic pressure almost like this, and it turns into be negative because they're trying to chase something that their manager's doing, but they haven't even bought a cookbook yet, right? And they're trying to be the professional chef. So where did that come from you? If you were to give some advice to our newer managers, how to release that?
I mean, it's just definitely because I'm competitive. I mean, I came from a pretty competitive office. I mean, Kyle was probably 6 years as a DM at that point, and I kind of just like, oh, I should automatically be doing that. I never thought of like, oh, I'm going to struggle and bump my feet and stuff like that. So I think you just got to get out of your own way and honestly just focus on the positives, move forward. Sometimes I got so wrapped up in looking in reports when I was younger, and it's like, oh, this person's doing better than me. Like this person's doing better than me here. So stop looking at, obviously you want to look at your numbers and everything like that, but don't compare yourself to other managers, because everybody's at a different point in their career and their life. People have different challenges. So just stop, just run your own race. I mean, that's the biggest thing I can really say there.
So the isolation you mentioned, and I got to tell you, man, like you could be in a room full of people and feel isolated. And I felt that before. And I think that some of our new management staff, they may not be 2 hours away from the next office. They could be 15 minutes in some areas. Like in New Jersey, it's so compact that you can drive a half an hour and be in another major territory.
Yep.
They're 2 hours or whether they're 30 minutes away. What would be some tips on how to remove yourself from that isolated state if a manager is experiencing that?
I mean, just reach out and call people. I mean, when I was like iPhones had just kind of came out when I was a new manager, so FaceTime wasn't like a huge thing back then. Zoom calls, like you talked to me back in 2011, this would be all over a phone call,
Right.
not on a video conference. So I think technology, I think technology has definitely helped substantially. So like FaceTiming, Skype, Zoom calls, that kind of stuff. Just like also make time for family and stuff. That's one thing I was really bad at neglecting. I was so focused on trying to build the business that I kind of forgot. I didn't like forget about them, obviously, but like they were kind of put to the side almost, versus like making time to spend time with my friends and my family and everything. And I felt like I kind of neglected that a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
So like what I do now is like my calendars, especially the beginning of campaigns, I sit down with my wife June and it's like, hey, what's a thing that we really want to do at the end of the summer? What's like a fun thing that we can look forward to? Having something fun and exciting. Like one thing that we planned back in like, I don't know, January is we're going to Japan and Thailand in a couple of weeks for like our delayed honeymoon. So I was like, hey, I've been looking forward to that all summer. It's like I go into my office like, hey, I'm working my butt off right now, but I know I'm going away for like a week and a half at the end of October to one of my dream vacations. So.
And you guys have going on about a year. You were Labor Day last weekend or last year. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, we just had our 1 year anniversary on September 1st.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man. It's been great.
So the delayed instant gratification. Well, we got married, and this is what we should do. We should go on this honeymoon, right? That's what people do. And what I really respect, man, is that you didn't just push that off for whatever. Hey, we took a year, and we had the big wedding, right? And that was a major commitment. But then a year later, we're going to Thailand, and that's something that we really, really want to do. And I really appreciate that. I think that's tremendous. Where we want I want it now. You know, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to get married, then have a honeymoon. And just cool the fact that you separated them out a little bit, something to look forward to. I don't know if you know the power of that question. Hey, what's something you're looking forward to? And when I'm asked that question, it takes me out of an immediate rut. So when you're managing a rep, when you're managing a manager, when you're managing yourself, your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever, and you're in that rut, you know it's like this dirty cloud around you, just a pause, a reflection, just like, hey, what's something that I'm looking forward to? So I love that you had said it, because that's a question on my wall about that I look at on a day-to-day basis. I may not follow through and ask myself that question, but I look at it at least. If you're listening to this, write that question down for yourself, write it down for your friends, your family, whomever. Hey, what am I looking forward to? And it's going to be an immediate rut jumper.
Rut jumper. That's a good word. I like it. New word in the dictionary.
Dude, sometimes I didn't know what to say to people. So I just started to develop relationships with people by calling them. And like the funny thing is I didn't know what to say, but when I call them up, it's kind of like when somebody calls you, they're almost expecting something from you, meaning a question, a favor. And it's just cool to call somebody and be like, I just needed to talk to somebody. I want nothing from you other than just to say hello and see how you are.
Yeah.
And you ever do that to people?
Yeah, all the time.
And they're kind of like,
friends.
I don't get it. What's the catch? And it's like, I'm just doing PDI, man. This is an appreciation PDI. And PDI doesn't have to be just work. Yeah. And I can tell you, man, throughout the years of having 1 or 2 minute phone calls on the way home, like I drive a lot, so I got windshield time when I'm just driving and just aimlessly calling people. It's amazing the power of just calling 5 people and saying hello and not asking anything from them.
I agree.
So I love it where you're like, just keep in touch with family, just keep in touch with friends. And when you don't know what to ask, that's the best time to call somebody. Just call somebody and say, I just needed to reach out. How are you doing? That's a question. Dude, what's going on in your life? That's a question. What are you looking forward to, man? I'm just stuck in a rut. I need a rut jumper. What's going on? That's the thing, man. Hashtag rut jumper. Is that cool?
We're starting a new movement.
Dude, great info, great content. It's a solid reminder. So last week, can you tell us a little bit about your last week? You had $5,100 in new business, and this is the next part I want to talk about. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at, the end of the summer was kind of coming up, and I was kind of looking at the next 6 months, and I was looking at all the travel that I was going to be doing, like St. Louis, Bahamas, obviously Paris, the Asia trip that I'm going on, which I never thought I would say something like that when I was like 21 years old. I never stepped on a foot on a plane before I started working here. And it's like, I'm leaving for all this time. So like, I need to get my staff really good. So I've been on just like a huge mission to get my assistant managers really solid. I've had some people fall off. I had a huge management class going into the fall, and definitely had some people kind of quit and fall off the grid, but people that are sticking around, I'm just digging in with them. I'm building with them. I don't think I've ever taught the way I've taught this point in my career, because I know I'm leaving. So like, I don't really want my office to like, crap the bed when I leave.
Yeah.
So it's just been a constant buildup over the last month and a half of just getting people good at their skill sets, making sure people are comfortable with their schedules, so that they feel comfortable. Even if I leave the office for like, I didn't that 5,100. I'm not taking any credit for that whatsoever. That was all my assistant managers. I set it up for him. We had a staff meeting Monday night before we left, but I just kind of like, hey guys, there's nothing you can really screw up that I can't fix. Just have fun this week. Focus on building up people. And I had a one rep kind of pop. She's really struggling. I've been working with her a lot. She finally had kind of her breakthrough moment last week, did about $3,100, had another random rep sell about $1,400, and then just a couple of my AMs doing between like 300 and 500. So again, all credit to my assistant managers, but I've just been really working with them and digging in to get their skill set really good. I've got a couple people who want to go DM and branch next summer, so they're kind of rallying around me right now.
Yeah. And it's, whether you sell $10,000 from one person or $5,000 from 5 people, you have a pretty cool story from when you hit President's Banquet. You didn't launch, like we talked to Dave Powders recently, and Dave, when he first started as DM, started in September. So he was a fall DM promo, launched 24 in September, when starting in September around SLC, launched 25, I want to say, or close to it in October, and then actually did more in November. We're talking 75 to 80 people that he launched literally when he just started. I don't know if I've ever launched that many people, but can you talk in a fall, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Can you talk a little bit about the power of numbers, launching a few per week, your focus of having 2 to 4 per week, 3 to 5, whatever your focus is. Can you talk a little bit more about that and what you're doing on a weekly basis?
Of course. I think the most we launched that fall was 4. And then we did that like once or twice, but I was just focused on getting like 2 to 4 out of the door every week. Albert Einstein once said the most powerful force in the universe is compound interest, and 2 to 4 a week doesn't sound like a lot, especially when we go back to the summer numbers. We're launching 10 to 20 a week, but you get one good rep out of that training every week. By the end of the fall campaign, you've got 10 to 15 really, really good people on your team. It's essentially what happened. I launched this. Actually, I didn't even launch it. I was away. I was in Vegas and San Diego with my girlfriend, now my wife. My sales manager ran Owen Brown's training. He's a district manager now. And I met him first time at Conference of Champions. And I was like, oh, who's this? And he's like, oh, my name's Owen. And then I just dug in with Owen. You've met Owen many times. He's just a very vivacious person, loves the business. He's like a knife nerd. And I just got him on a consistent string. I think he sold out of the 15 weeks in the fall, at least 10 of those were over $1,000. And then he had one of his buddies, Ian, start, who eventually became assistant manager as well. He did about like 20K. Owen did about 27, won a scholarship. It was my first time I had a rep win a scholarship in my office. And I just got a couple other people from campus and PRs. Again, nothing huge. Again, biggest launch was like 4. But again, that compound interest really added up by the end of the year.
And Sparkles back there agrees. Compound interest. That will be the theme of today. Compound interest. And everything good?
I'm having some fun up there.
Compound interest. So it's a combination of a bunch of little things that add up.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there are managers out there that are doing very high level things. Maybe they make it up that way. Maybe they did not. But I think the average is compound interest. The average person in our business has one little piece there, 1% there, 1% there. Hey, today was a 5%er. Today was a 0.5%, but it's a consistent energy, consistent effort. And when that's done on a longer plateau, great things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times I go to the gym, lift, work out, and then I go home and I'm like, why am I not, why are my arms not as big as Justin Neefus? Why can't I do more than 7 push-ups where Larry Manley can probably do 35 with one hand? I don't get this. Consistency, effort, and small percent, small wins at a time. I love that compound interest. Talk to me about managing your candidates and reps, right? Because it's kind of one and the same in some cases, but in the fall time, how do you manage your people? How do you manage your candidates? What are some of your keys to success there?
It's definitely a lot of one-on-one conversations. I know in the summer we kind of had to have this like group mentality. But one thing that I was always taught, especially when I was younger, is like in August, it's like, hey, August is all about individual goals. And I think that's very similar with the fall as well, especially when your team's a little smaller, you're able to dig in a little bit more. Like when you have a 50-person team, it's very hard to have a lot of those one-on-one conversations. A lot of assistant managers tend to handle a lot of those as well. But in the fall, I mean, it's easy to dig in with people, help them get at their skill sets. Like that girl that just popped her 3K weekly. I think she was at like $4,500. She had started late August, but she was kind of struggling a little bit. And it's like, let me dig in with you. Let me focus on a couple of skill sets, and just making sure they're on a schedule. I think that's the most important thing, especially with students in the fall and the spring. Having a nice consistent schedule that they're comfortable with. Because I remember when I was in college, like I made $100. I'd be like on cloud 9. Like I got my beer money for the week. Awesome. So like, yeah, we definitely have some amazing stories where students are around. They're making thousands of. I don't even know how this job is legal for college students to make that kind of money, but most students just want to make like $50 to $100. So I was like, oh, let me do my five. I have a Kyle and I always kind of do this like a schedule for students, like be on a consistent 5 schedule, which is primarily weekends. The Elite 8, which is like 2 nights a weekend, like a Tuesday and Thursday, I'm working on the weekends. And then those more heavier part-time, the Dirty Dozen. So you work like 3 nights a week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then you work on Saturday and Sunday. So just making sure that they have their schedule, they have their goals they're excited about. And you can just kind of rally some people like that, especially with the compound interest thing that we just talked about.
Yeah. Recently we had a call with Kathy Christian, and dude, she had some lights out info. So if you haven't watched that one, definitely check that out. But it's just cool, some of the stuff that you're talking about. She called it a Focus 5, and she walked the whole thing all the way down to Dirty Dozen. It was like 5, Lucky 7. And then what you're saying is so parallel that the numbers might be different, but the constant number I'm thinking about is 5.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a rep that, like Jordan Bandera. I remember when I played, or when I was a DM in Syracuse, he was a basketball player at one of the colleges. And he came in, and I'm like, what brings you in today? He's like, I just saw a flyer on campus. I just need money. I'm playing basketball, so nobody's hiring me. And I thought to myself that he can't even get a job at the food court. And this is a student athlete with relatively a good GPA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't just somebody who needs to slip by. He wanted to work. And that hit me as a manager years and years ago, that I'm like, how can they not want this person? And he's like, I can literally do 3 hours of work there after practice. I've got homework I got to do there, and I've got to be to class there. I'm like, perfect. Like you can do 3, 4, 5, 8 appointments per week. Now, let's just say Jordan never did more than 7 appointments per week and never did less than 2, but this is a collegiate athlete playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he could have sold $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, but he showed up to every team meeting when he was in town. He called in for PDI, and here it is, a student that, wasn't even getting hired at his local food court. We gave the ability to be a part of our team, PR'd a couple people, and made $1,300 in the course of a semester.
Yep.
What you're saying is awesome, because whether it's 5, 7, 10, student athlete 2 to 3, put them on a schedule. Like, this is what we offer for you. And I'll gobble them up every single day. Every single day,
Exactly.
a food court person gets turned away because they don't have enough time. It's like,
yep. Owen was actually a perfect example of that. He did like 5 demos a week max. I think the only time he worked a little extra was during the only and push period. He hit it like a 10K push, which is obviously really solid. But he was just doing 5 demos a week on most weeks. And that's how you won a scholarship.
I love the fall. One-on-one conversations. Talk to me about it. Kathy said something great as well. Again, this is just fresh because I just interviewed Kathy a little while ago. And it was, hey, how much do you need to make this week to make this worth it for you? You know, and it's like asking those little mini questions because to us, we know what the job can do. What do you want to make? $400 or $500? And they're like, if I can make $25 to pay for, if I can make $75 to buy Madden, my life would be amazing. And I think
Mm-hmm.
my college days where it's like, I didn't make more than $1 because I didn't work in college. I worked really hard on breaks.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could get a job when I was in college that would be flexible and all that. So I love it. One-on-one combos. And I really do like too, Aaron, the girl that sold 3,100 didn't start that first weekend and have that pop, right?
Yep.
Started in August. So if you keep people around long enough, you have questions, you make a schedule for them, eventually they're going to pop. And that girl's life, like remember the Golden Buzzer, SLC? I'm not saying her life had changed forever, but her life in a way changed forever. She just sold and made around what, $600, $700 in a week?
Yeah.
And her life up until now has changed for the better. So when she looks back 10 years from now, she'll be like, yeah, I run my own business. You know, I have this, I have that. And it started off that one fall in Cutco when I sold $3,100 and made $700. I realized that I could actually do stuff. So
Yeah, exactly.
I love it, man. Well, dude, as we begin to
Yeah, I love our business.
that,
I was saying I love our business and how people can just do that. And SLC is a great reminder of that too. Like just the message we heard from like Jeff Bry and Brian Hurlman and everything like that. So just not taking anything for advantage and what we're really offering people.
it's great. It's hard. It's good to remember too. It's good to sit back and reflect like what we actually do as a business, the power of one PDI call, the power of asking a person how they're doing, the power of asking a brand new rep, hey, what are you looking forward to? The power of saying to somebody who's about to quit, what's really going on?
Mm-hmm.
The power of just talking to your people, the power of compound interest. Dude, what's a couple final things, any final thoughts that you want to wrap up with today? Anything that you would say to your future son or daughter as a Cutco DM? Anything that you would say to our current DMs that might be in that little bit of a rut? Anything you'd like to say? Any final thoughts here?
I mean, focus on the positives, move forward, build relationships with your people. I've always been taught that people don't quit jobs. People don't quit on people. People quit on jobs. And when you build those great relationships with people, like people want to wrap arms around you, and they'll go to war with you. And I think I had that big revelation when Owen started. It's like, hey, this kid's like spunky. He's 18 years old. He's very raw, but he's got a lot of talent. I know he can do something great here. And it's like, let me wrap my arms around this kid. And I mean, he's still in the business now, and just focus on it. And sometimes just get out of the office. Like I think some of the best relationships that I built with my people is like when we went to get a coffee or we walked around the office, and just get outside of that like box. And like we had a lot, like I remember that fall we had a lot of like fun team night outs. We obviously went to restaurants, but we did like team night ins. We'd have like a movie night. We watched The Office. Just get outside of the office and stop doing like do something different, unique. Like, I mean, that's what our business is about. It's about signature experiences and bringing those cool things to people. Like we just came back from Bahamas, and I had one of my reps, Brandon Peach. He'd been to Canada. He'd never really been on a plane before, and that's definitely something that's probably one of my most proudest moments. That kid was super shy, super unconfident. And he was a branch this summer, did 50K with one town, won a trip to Paris and Bahamas, and his life's changed now. So just focus on finding those one or two people a week and just wrap your arms around them and have fun.
It's funny. It's like, man, I just need a break. And then you think of this vacation in the mountains. You think of this Bahamas trip, and it's like, when's the last time you walked outside and took a lap around your building? When's the last time you drove to the grocery store without your phone, had the windows down, and just walked around the park? When's the last time you took 5 minutes to just get some fresh air, right? Not to check yourself, or not to go on the internet to check your email, just the power of a break. And if you take 2 to 3 breaks throughout the day, I don't see how that could hurt you.
Exactly.
Great reminders, dude. Great job.
Thank you, sir.
Well, dude, we're going to wrap up here. And before we do, we have a little tradition. on our little show here about a round of fun questions. Have you
All
heard
right.
or seen anything about it?
What was that?
Have you heard or seen what I'm speaking about?
I saw a couple of videos. I kind of saw a little bit of it.
Alrighty then.
Let's have some fun.
The clock, and we are going to rifle through some questions, and I want you to do your best. If you feel you get it, I don't want you to just simply say pass.
Okay.
1 minute on the clock. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. All right. What is the state capital of Connecticut?
Hartford.
You've lived there your entire life?
No.
Okay. What is this?
A shoe.
Very good. What is this?
That's a keyboard.
Wow. You study?
All the time.
What number is Tom Brady?
Number 12.
Okay. I am looking for words that end with O-P. O-P. Okay? If it's not the bottom, it's the
Top.
when you go to the grocery store, you go there to blank for groceries.
Shop.
Boom. A piece of a little candy on top of a stick. A lolly.
Pop.
What do you do at a green light?
Stop. I mean, go.
What is, in the game blackjack, what number are you trying to ideally get?
21.
Bones, true or false? A shark has twice the amount of bones that a human does. That's why it can swim really fast.
False. I don't know.
That was it. Okay, you want to know how you did?
Sure.
Okay. The state capital of Connecticut is not Hartford.
Wow. I'm bad at geography. What is it?
Can I sell you off of what the state capital was?
Yeah, what is it?
It is Hartford.
It is Hartford?
All right. You're right. It's a shoe. I would also accepted sneaker. Keyboard is correct. Tom Brady is 12. Okay. Top, shop, pop, and what do you do at a green light? You go.
Yeah.
Blackjack is 21, and a true or false. You are correct. The shark does not have twice as many bones. A shark actually has no bones. A shark is completely made of cartilage. That's why it can float.
Gotcha. Learn something new every day.
We're all better for knowing this.
Yeah, exactly. Random facts.
One more time.
Alles Gute zum Geburtstag.
That's German, okay, for happy birthday. But I want you to have a very happy birthday. I appreciate you. Cheers to your success. And we got Vegas here, so I want you to buckle down because you and I dealing at the blackjack table.
Yeah, let's have some fun.
In all reality, man, give your absolute best and keep loving on people. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.